Have you ever been to a pancake house that claims to be international? I'm not naming one specifically, please don't sue me. They claim to be international, so you look in the international section for their pancakes and you find they have crepes and Swedish pancakes. And you're like, Swedish pancakes? That sounds lovely. You try them and you wonder, how is that different than the crepes? If that's your only experience with Swedish pancakes, then you're in for a big surprise, because that's not Swedish pancakes. Crepes and Swedish pancakes are not the same thing. They're thin, and then they call themselves pancakes, sort of. You know, they look similar. That's it. These are your ingredients for Swedish pancakes. They're really simple. It's not very hard. This is a pretty big recipe right here. This will serve 4 or 5 people. If you're making this mostly for children, plan on making more because they can eat 1,000 of them. And if you're making them from children for the first time, then, wow, it's going to be a fun day. It really will, because there's a lot of sugar in this, and they're going to lose their minds. And those two combined could get interesting. So, if you want to blow somebody's mind with real Swedish pancakes, then this is it. Now, they don't eat Swedish pancakes for breakfast in Sweden, really. That's not a normal thing. This actually goes with soup, which is really strange. They've been doing this for hundreds of years. And it's an interesting recipe. They use what they had. And some of the things like sugar are very, very rare. And white flour, that was not something that you found in Sweden in the 1500s. So this was, very, the noble and the royals and that sort of thing. And then the average day person just had it with their split pea soup on Thursdays. That was it. I grew up with Swedish neighbors, so I got to experience the real thing. And when I got older and started eating other people's Swedish pancakes, I realized the world really doesn't know what Swedish pancakes are. So here's the recipe. Here it is. And there's a few weird things about this that are not like regular pancakes. First of all, what is this doing here? This is used for Swedish pancakes. If you try to make buttermilk pancakes with this, I ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna work at all. Ooh, that's a terrible idea. So don't do that. Generally, crepes, you don't use this. You hand whisk because the French need to punish everyone. They make everything as hard as possible. You could do it with that probably. But yeah, crepes have water in it. They're more savory. Sugar is almost non-existent, maybe just a pinch. Proportions are a little bit different. The key takeaway here is you're twice as much milk to flour. So this is 2 cups of milk and 1 cup of flour. We have 3 eggs. We have 3 tablespoons of melted butter that's not hot. This is just almost starting to come back together, but it's not hot. You don't want that hot. 1 teaspoon of salt and 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Remember when I said the kids would be bouncing off the walls? I was not kidding. Wait till you see what you put on top of this when you serve it. Hold on. The other thing that this typically uses is a plet. It's P-L-E-T-T. This is an actual Swedish pancake maker. Now there's a couple different kinds of Swedish pancakes. Actually, there's about 8 different kinds. But there's 2 basic kinds. There's the big ones and the little ones. I'm going to show you how to make both of them. That's fun. The little ones generally don't have as much sugar when you make them. They're for different things, and they're more of a decorative thing. But my neighbors always used this to make the pancakor. Forget the exact pronunciation. I don't speak Swedish. But this is the traditional sweet pancake. There's a more savory one that just takes a little bit of the sugar out. That's the only difference. But this pan is important. Now, where do you get one of these pans? You probably heard of this thing called Amazon. Anyways, you can buy this on there. This is the Norpro that I think I got off there a while ago. It's fairly rough, so you'd think it's going to stick like crazy, but it's cast iron. You season it right, pop right up. Plus, there's a ton of butter in them, so they just pop right out. And you have to wash this down with butter, brush it down with butter in between pancakes. So it stays pretty non-sticky. Okay, so you can do this in a regular pan too. So I have here my regular pancake skillet, also cast iron. This can be used and you make larger ones. It's not hard. When you pour the batter in, you just kind of, remember the handles get hot, wear an oven mitt or something to protect your hand, or you can get one of those cool silicone handles for it. I don't like those things. They don't tend to work very good and they slip off at the wrong time, so oven mitt it is. But yeah, you can use this or a non-stick pan. If you just want to use a regular frying pan, feel free to do that. It is fine. But let's get started. Okay, first thing you do, figure out how to take the lid off the blender. Eggs go in here. Doesn't matter the temperature of the eggs. So we're not making cookies here. Okay, so the eggs go in and you put in about a quarter of your milk mixture here. So that's about a half a cup is going to be going in. A little bit more. Okay. There. Now, crank this sucker on. Just kidding. But it's loud. This goes for 2 minutes. Edit button. Okay. We're ready to start. 2 minutes. Very, very pale colored. That's exactly what you want. Okay, now you put in about half of your flour. Try not to clank that, otherwise the microphone picks it up and it's crazy. You don't have to be too precise on this. About half your flour. All right. Now, crank it up again for about a minute. Edit. So this has become a wonderful, somewhat interesting batter at this point. All right, so now what you do is you add the rest of your milk. Yeah, the rest of your flour. Your salt. And your sugar. Okay, there goes that. Save the butter, save it for last. Now let's mix this up again for about a minute. Okay, you're gonna have to deal with the sound. I apologize, but you want to drizzle this in while it's running. Take the cap off the top. Go. Let that go for a few more seconds. Pretty well mixed up now, I'd think. You have Swedish pancake batter. Ta-da! And a lot of it. Okay, so this is pretty foamy. Yeah, I don't know. This is all going to fit in here. Let's see, that's 2 and yeah, it ain't going to fit in here. It might. Let's find out. Not even close. So now what I've done is I put this in here and it goes back in there. All right. I normally make this in a half batch. So I'm making the full batch right now. If you make this in a half batch, remember it's just 2 parts milk to 1 part flour. So it'd be 1 cup of milk and a half a cup of flour. But then you switch down to 1 egg because there's no such thing as 1 1/2 eggs. And then everything else, just cut it in half. There you go. But yeah, let me find the bigger one of this. Don't want to waste it. Come on, this stuff's gold. All right, bigger measuring cup here. Hey, there's the big boy. That's the one. Oop, yep, I wouldn't have made it. Would not have made it. Just under 4 cups at this point. The reason why the volume is so high is because you just whip the crap out of it. Okay, there, that's done. And you don't need that anymore. You have this. Let's get started. Okay, let's get cooking. The pan, because it's cast iron, I have it preheating. That's important because cast iron takes a while to come up to temperature evenly. You'll get hot spots and stuff. Once it's hot, it's fantastic because it's hard to, really throw it out of whack. But it does take time to get it hot. So don't think you're just going to turn it on and be cooking in 30 seconds. It takes a while. Just turn it on low. Let it sit for 5, 6, 7 minutes. Slowly normalizes. That's how you do cast iron. Okay, let's crank the heat, get this hot. I will switch to the little camera over here and show you how to cook these. So we have the pan sitting here over a medium heat. You want to get this to about 350, 370 degrees, something like that. Pretty much the normal pancake sort of temperature. And as you see here, I'm brushing on some butter. You want to butter this up really good, especially the first round, so that nothing sticks. After that, they kind of butter themselves a little bit because there is a fair amount of butter in the batter. And here is the batter, and it takes 1 tablespoon for each pocket here. So we're going to put in our mixture and just let it start cooking up. Now, just go around the pan. There's some hot spots in any stove. This one especially has hot spots on the right side. So I'm putting them on the left side first so that they cook the longest. And then just go around, remember kind of which ones you're doing. It'll be pretty obvious. They start to dry up a little bit. They'll be very wet at first, and then they start to dry up and get a little flat. They're not as shiny anymore. And that's when you know it's time to flip them, but it does not take long. So don't go walk away or anything. And just kind of, like regular pancakes, you kind of got to, monitor your temperatures and everything else. This is real time. I haven't edited anything. This is how long it takes to cook this, to flip them over. They're a bit of a pain in the butt. You get your rhythm. You'll figure it out. But they're a little pain to get back in the pocket when you flip them. I'm using the fish spatula, which is absolutely the wrong tool, but it's the best tool I had at that particular moment, so there you go. And if you get real good, pow! Look at that, right back in the pocket. And you're looking for that nice, wonderful golden brown, and there you go. That one's not quite ready. Test it. Nope, won't come up. So these are the ones I did first. And, yeah, we're just flipping these guys. And there you go. Just kind of try and get them back in the hole. Work as fast as you can. But this side of the pan here is the hottest, so it's already ready. See? That's exactly what you're looking for right there. That's exactly what a Swedish pancake is supposed to look like. That is beautiful. Now, it does not take long to cook these. Like I said, this cast iron stays hot, and it doesn't really care how much batter you just put in there. Besides, you're only putting a tablespoon in. It doesn't really do much to it. Now let it sit on this side for just a second. And I'll show you like kind of real time here for the first one so that you get an idea of exactly how long this really takes. We're just kind of waiting and looking and gonna pay attention to all this. And that's kind of as exciting as this gets. We're watching pancakes cook, folks. We really are. I swear. That's what's actually happening here. All right, now let's see. How's it look underneath? Oh, yeah, that might have gone a little further than you'd want it, but it's still going to be delicious. Don't worry, just move a little faster for the next round. Now, pretty much get them all out of here. Once one's done, they're all done. Look at that. That one's perfect because that side of the pan's a little bit cooler. So there you go. On this side, don't even have to look. I know they're done because the way they're popping out so fast and so easy. That is pretty much how you use the plet pan. And now you know that's how it is, and that's what works. There you go. Now just continue. Make the rest of them. This is the halfway point. I finished with the small ones. You get 7 in a pan, you get 3 rows, so 21 of these little guys makes half the batter. As you can see, this is what the top side, when you first put it down, looks like. This is what the bottom looks like once you flipped it and it comes out. They're paler than this. They're supposed to be. Most of the times you'll serve these with the pale side up. I don't know why. Just you do. But anyways, this is what they look like. They're amazing. They're delicious. I'll do the zoom in flyover thingy so that you can see what that looks like. But now we're going to make the big ones. I'll show you how to do that. Now this really is pretty similar to the other. You just don't have the pan with all the pockets, but you're still going to get the same temperature basically, and you're going to butter it up so that everything's nice. And it's not really about sticking, it's about those nice crispy edges and the little pockets and the fun stuff. Okay, so you take your ladle's about half full, and just put it in there, try and get it to spread around. My counter or my stove or the pan isn't exactly level, so it's making a break for it. I just kind of scoop it back in, make a little dam, and there you go. Okay, so I sped it up a little bit because you don't want to sit here the whole time. You know, this video is going to be an hour long, and nobody really wants to see that. Now, you've got the same kind of cues to tell you to flip it, which are that it gets a little bit dull, the shininess goes away, you don't see all the raw batter on top, and that's how you kind of know it's time to flip it. As you see that, it is perfect. You don't want to overcook these. Having a little under won't hurt anything. It makes it delicious, and everyone's gonna love it. I did speed it up because, hey, it's making pancakes. You get the idea. Just keep doing this until you get all the remaining batter done, and then we're ready to eat. All right, so here they are. Here are your ones you did in a regular frying pan or skillet, the larger size. They're irregular because when they cook, as you see, they get all spread out weird. These are the ones that come from the plate. They are lovely and amazing and all perfectly sized. Kids love these, but these are the more traditional right here. So how do we eat these? How do we serve these? What's the best way? Well, my neighbor always did it this way. She always had butter and granulated sugar, and that was it. That's all that went on this. You don't put syrup on this or anything like that. No. So more of an American thing is powdered sugar. A little butter, a little powdered sugar. But the most traditional, and the one I personally love, is lingonberry preserves. These are amazing. These are actually made in Sweden. You can get these on Amazon. What? They actually ship this stuff to your house. They really do. It's delicious. It's expensive, but it lasts for a while, and it's got a beautiful tartness to it because these are fairly sweet. So it's a nice contrast. There's a very non-traditional way to eat these, which I have found, which is delicious. Had a German pancake, not the Dutch baby kind, the actual skillet kind, not the oven-baked big thing. Put a little lemon on it. Lemon has the same, sort of tartness thing. It's delicious. So you just have some lemon wedges and just give it a little squirt. It's fantastic. And I can't wait to try one of these. So I'm going to try one of each of these. So as you can see, these are lovely and amazing. I'm going to actually steal a couple of these. And I'll show you a few different ways here to do this. Now the butter's a little nicely softened, not freezing cold. Put a little bit of butter on this. It melts in because they're still warm straight off the skillet. Yeah. These have been off for a little bit, but they're still warm. I was keeping them warm. I promise. I kept them warm. Okay. Now, the way my neighbor always made them, just a little bit of granulated sugar. The way I love them, which is why I'm going to do it on the big one. Right here is that right there. Just a little bit. You'll smear it around a little bit. It's delicious. And then the new unconventional fun way is to just do a little tiny bit of sugar, because you want this sweet and sour in there. Lemon's pretty sour. And just a little squeeze. There you go. That is 3 different ways. I didn't use the powdered sugar. I've never done powdered sugar. I've just seen people can do that, and they shouldn't. But you could, if you really like powdered sugar, go for it. I don't suggest it, but it's there. These are so weird. If you're used to regular pancakes, these are bizarre. They're wonderful, but they're flatter. They're not fluffy necessarily. They're fluffier than a crepe, but they're sweet and they're delicious. They're a little oily, isn't quite the word for it. There's texture that, oh, the lemon. Seriously, lemon is so good. Okay, so if you spread this out, what you do is take and roll this up like this a little bit. Cut off a piece, just like that, and look at how amazing that looks. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, yeah. That's, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to sit here and eat the rest of these. I'm going to thank you for tuning in. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to. Hit the notification bell if you want to see the next one. Leave me a comment. Tell me how amazing this looks. Oh, how bad do you want to eat this right now? Well, you could be eating it. All you got to do is make it. There you go. Now I showed you how. And you're set. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. And thanks again for tuning in. All right, see ya. Bye.